Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to some breath work this morning. How is everyone doing? Any important updates before we start? I'm going to give it a minute anyways, just in case there's some people hopping on a little bit late. So if you have anything you'd like to share, we can use the next couple minutes for that. Good. Morning, Lisa. Okay, so we're on week 3 now, which is kind of funny. Kelly says, I feel like the attention to my nervous system is helping. Woo! Good. I'm glad. Like I said at the beginning of this, this is really rich work. There's a lot to kind of process mentally, in terms of understanding sort of what's going on. But there's also a lot, and especially this week and next week that we'll be going into, like a lot of new channels to kind of create in the body, and new patterns to make, so that that's always a process. It's work that will will take some time and some patience, and I think the effects are usually pretty immediate, but they continue to deepen and continue to grow and blossom. Good. I'm glad you guys are getting something. I would say specifically, again, without knowing it, I think for about 7 years solid, I was doing nervous system care work. I didn't know that's what I was doing, but I was doing it the whole time, and will continue to for the rest of my life. It's something I'm really attuned to now. But I would say that it was 7 years of like really kind of a lot of attention and effort going in that direction, which is a long time, but at the same time, the results were pretty impressive, pretty magnificent, like some tremendous healing, the type of healing that I really would have thought was maybe not possible at all, ever. So 7 years, not so much in terms of that. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit, and then we're going to jump into the breath work. If we have questions, we'll do those after the session. So if you have any questions you want to ask, just hold those until after we do the breath work, and I'll leave a little time at the end for it. But today we're going to go a little bit deeper, a little bit further into the breath work. I know we kind of have people who are jumping in all over with the course, maybe haven't been able to follow along steadily. So if this is your first time, or you are new to doing the breath work with us here, or breath work in general, I want to come back to go really slow and really gentle. For those of you who have have really been in this for the last few weeks, we're going to go a little bit deeper today, which means the pace will be a little bit more dynamic. So I just want to talk for a moment about that. If you are a breathwork, if you're a breathwork practitioner outside of this course, you're probably quite comfortable with everything that we're doing. But for those of you who are kind of new to this space, the breath that we do on these Sundays that I've been calling like cathartic breathwork, with this circular breath, this has been sort of the theme of what we've been doing every Sunday, is this circular breath. It's also called an activating breath. And what it's doing, especially as we go a little bit deeper into it, and that can either be the rhythm is a little bit faster, or it can mean that the session is a little bit longer. Those are both ways to deepen it. what we're doing with that, the activation, is we're actually activating the nervous system a little bit. So some of you might feel this when you are getting into the breath work. You might start to feel like it's activating you a little bit. You might start to feel like maybe there's a little bit of anxiety rising. So again, I want to say I really, really, truly believe that safety, a feeling of safety, and creating a feeling of safety for yourself, and learning how to do that, practicing how to do that, is like the bedrock of all of this healing. So I do not want you to ever push yourself past your sense of safety. Nothing good is going to come of that. If you start to feel like, ooh, stuff is coming up a little bit too much, drop the breath. Just drop it. Everything will dissipate pretty quickly. If you start, if you start to get the lobster claws like we were talking about, or any other kind of sort of freezing going on in the body, or anything that's coming up that's to the point where it's causing some sort of fear reaction in you, just drop the breath. And the best way to do that as we go along is to use what we've already learned about the vagus nerve. So if you start to get to your edge and it's like it's getting to the point where you're not feeling safe anymore and you need to come out of the cycle, we're going to use that vagus nerve information that we have, which is a deep inhale and then a really slow exhale. And if you do this through the nose, it will help even more. So if you've come to your edge and you need to stop, you can just take a really deep inhale through the nose, slowly, and then exhale as slowly as possible through the nose. You do that a couple times and everything should just settle down. That being said, as we've been talking about this nervous system, so when we work with the nervous system, we want both a flexible nervous system, right? So this is, flexibility is kind of our ability to respond without like getting rigid and coming into panic. So the flexibility comes in terms of like, how are we able to respond to our nervous system cues? Can we down regulate, which means when we're getting too anxious, do we know how to kind of drop the alarm system? That's everything that we learned about the long exhale, breathing down into your belly, doing the self-soothing, the mothering work, just calling on that energy, like that tenderness and that sweetness. You can hold yourself, touch your face, all of these things that we learned a couple weeks ago. But the other part is that we need a strong nervous system. And nervous system strength, or I would say that's the same as saying nervous system resilience, means that it has the capacity to hold energy. So if you have some sort of trauma that's happened in your life, and that sympathetic nervous system response was activated, so the fight or flight was activated during this traumatic event, what that fight or flight does is flood the whole system with energy, right? And that's the energy for you to be able to fight or flee. The system gets flooded with energy. Because of that, it's very often, unless there's like a good resolution to whatever the situation was and it didn't end up causing trauma. Trauma means there was not a good resolution and it's carried on past the moment. So if it's created some sort of trauma, now we very often have an association of like a physiological experience of our system holding energy or being flooded with energy is now connected to this sort of psychological or the memory imprint of this negative event. So now in the system we can have this negative association with having a lot of energy, right? So if that traumatic event, the system was flooded with energy, but it wasn't a good situation. Now sometimes when the nervous system feels flooded with energy, it can automatically kind of go back to this association and revert back to fear or anxiety or discomfort. So as we strengthen the nervous system and we grow our capacity. Essentially, a strong nervous system is our capacity to hold more and more energy. We might start meeting our edge with that. So we might come up against places where the body starts running more energy, but then fear arises or anxiety arises. So again, just going very tenderly and very sweetly with all of this, and it will, I promise you, if you go gently, you will still probably faster, to be honest, in the end, arrive at a place of healing and resolution. Because all of this has its own rhythm and its own pattern. And when we allow it its own rhythm and pattern, it finds resolution. It's seeking, essentially the energy itself is seeking resolution. It's us kind of going in there and trying to manipulate it that makes it, that kind of makes a mess of things and makes it take way too long or not happen at all. So the more we can sort of relax out of needing to manipulate it, the quicker the resolution will come. But that means going really gently and tenderly, not throwing ourselves too deep into any kind of fear. So when you're doing the breath work, this activating breath work, what we're doing is on purpose sort of activating the nervous system. And this is for kind of two reasons. One is that this is how we strengthen the nervous system, is we actually activate it, just like a muscle. If you want to grow your bicep, you have to work your bicep. So if you want your nervous system to get stronger and have more capacity to hold energy, hold the energy of life, you've got to work it. So when we do this activating breath, we're stimulating it just a little bit so that we start to grow the strength. The other thing is, if you remember on our first week, when we were looking at sort of that graph where you have this cycle of like something happens, right? Some event happens that triggers the sympathetic nervous system response, and we get these fight or flight responses. So we're like going up in this response, and then oftentimes something locks it, right? We've been talking about this. There's some sort of, it doesn't really matter why or how, but for some reason we kind of clamp down on that experience, usually because it's uncomfortable or we don't know how to process it. And this is what is locked into the system. And this is what is causing our problems, because the alarm system stays on because the energy is trapped in the system. Well, again, the energy itself is seeking release. It's seeking to fulfill, it's to resolve its own rhythm, its own cyclical nature. So to do that, it needs to actually finish its cycle, which means it might have to come up a little bit more. And if we can get to a space where we can allow that, then it will naturally come down by itself. So these are all kind of where we're working towards practicing. So to free this trapped energy, there's sort of two ways to go about it. And we're using both of these sides throughout the whole course. One is to relax it, right? To create a situation, again, of safety. This is the self-mothering we're doing. This is the practicing trusting ourselves. This is turning the attention back towards ourselves, towards the body, towards sensation. So when we do that, we can sort of relax the contraction around this energy, and then it's free to come out. The other way we can do it is sort of poke it a little bit. Like if you're a Kundalini yogi, you've probably heard this even, because it's something we say in Kundalini yoga, but is poke and provoke. So we're going to poke it a little bit, we're going to provoke it a little bit, and what this does is, again, gets it to start moving so it can finish its cycle and come to resolution. So that's what we're doing with this breath work. Again, being online, definitely being extra gentle is really important. But if you're feeling comfortable, you can start kind of moving into your edges. If something comes up that feels too much today, again, do not push yourself. Like, really do not. No, you will not get anything out of it. Don't push yourself in a harsh way, right? Fear arises. Do your breathing through the nose, that nice long exhale, let everything settle, and then you can come back. Otherwise, if you're feeling pretty comfortable, you can start to explore, because hopefully you're going to keep doing this breath work for a long time. So you have a lot of time to explore into your edges. So you can start to explore what might feel uncomfortable, and you can start to notice, is this that's arising, like noticing it as energy. So when we're doing this breath work, we are releasing the energy that is trapped. The energy is now going to be flowing through the system, and that could feel really good. It could feel really pleasurable. It could feel it could feel all sorts of things. It could feel uncomfortable if you have that negative association with energy in the system. So you can just get really curious about that. Just start to play with your edges. See if you can hold space for the things that are uncomfortable. See if you can lean in a little bit. When it's too much, back off. Just kind of start to go into those spaces and start to notice how what's arising often, as pleasure or as anxiety or as fear or whatever sort of comes up, if you really kind of get very close to the sense experience of it, you'll start to notice that it's all just energy. So I want you to take that energy when you notice it and put it into that cycle of breath and keep moving it through the system. Okay? All right. So let's do some breath. Before you lay down, actually go ahead and lay down. So get into a comfortable spot. You can put a pillow underneath your knees, so the legs can be bent if you like. The spine, including the neck, should be nice and flat and straight. And this is just another thing to pay attention to as we go a little bit deeper into the breath. Again, remembering you are totally in control. You can stop at any point, and whatever is happening physically will dissipate very quickly. If you start to, this isn't super common, but it can come up. If you have some like Kundalini activation, if you have some of this energy moving through the system, or it could open up during breath work even, that flow of energy and that flow of breath, sometimes you'll feel like something is breathing you. Like there'll be a breath that comes into you that feels like it's not of your like mental control, right? Something is happening spontaneously in the body. I want you to allow that, really trust that breath. So if some other sort of natural or spontaneous breath starts moving through the body, please just allow that to do its thing. Okay, so hopefully you're comfy, and close your eyes, and I want you to call upon an intention for yourself today. So this could be something that you're working on releasing, something that you're working on cultivating. Whatever it is, just bringing into your mind this intention. Now I want you to inhale, and as you inhale, imagine drawing the intention to your heart. And you can exhale and just hold that intention at the heart space. And now in the next inhale, draw that intention down to like the bottom of your belly. And just hold that intention there. Okay, so really rooting that in. And on the next breath, I want you to totally let it go. Totally let it go. Okay. I'm going to open the mouth, let it relax. And inhaling through the mouth, filling the belly. You can put a hand on your belly unless you're really quite confident that you're a belly breather. I would suggest everybody put a hand on the belly and relax the exhale. Good, keep going. So as you inhale, really fill the whole body cavity with breath. So totally fill the belly, totally fill the lungs, the heart space, the rib cage expands, the throat, the mouth, everything fills with breath. And then the exhale, it just falls out of your mouth like a waterfall. Good. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Good. Now that breath, we make it really circular. So no pauses. The whole thing very, very circular. Round and round it goes. Good. Keep breathing all the way into the belly. The belly moves. Exhale, gentle exhale. No push on the exhale, just let it kind of fall out of the mouth. It is safe to breathe. It is safe to be in my body. It is safe to have energy in my body. It is safe to be powerful. Good. Keep going. Full inhale. Relax. Exhale. Full inhale. Relax. Breathe in. Relax. Breathe in. Relax. In. Feel everything. Relax. Good. And then just let that become a rhythm. And if you're feeling comfortable with the breath work, maybe the rhythm is a little bit, maybe we lean into it a little bit more. So maybe it's a little bit quicker than we have been, but not too fast. Just a little bit leaning into the edge. If that doesn't feel comfortable to you, then you just slow down a little bit. Take breaks when you need to. You won't lose anything by taking a break and coming back. And I want you to start to feel the energy coming alive in your system. On each inhale, breathing in oxygen, light, life force. prana, vitality, aliveness. And on each exhale, just letting go of constriction, tension, fear, anxiety, worry. Just gently letting them release from the system. And start to notice what it feels like for the nervous system, for the body, for the subtle body, to start to move a lot of energy through it. Maybe it feels a little bit tingly. Maybe it feels like light shimmering through. Maybe you feel a little bit uneasy with it, a little unsure. You can check in. Is that something you can hold space for today? Can you get curious? So right now you are totally safe. You are held. You are held by the earth below you. You are held by the Great Mother within and around you. She holds you like her sweet baby child. So much tenderness, so much love. You are safe. You are safe. You are safe. And if you need to hear it, you can say it. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. And if you're not sure about that, check. Is there solid ground beneath you? Are you in a safe space? Are you here with good intentions to love and nurture and care for yourself? Look at how your body shows up so well for you. It shows up here for you today so that you can heal, so that you can feel vibrant and happy and alive and joyous. Think how much your body has done for you, how much your body has held for you, how hard it has worked to care for you and protect you and keep you safe and well. So you just check in. All of these things around you, all of these physical things around you, notice them. Notice how they support you right now. Not asking for anything, not demanding anything, just holding you to do this work. Holding space for you to do this good work. And if you start to feel anywhere that starts to get really activated in the physical system, so maybe it feels like a lot of tingling, or maybe it feels like some pressure, you can just get curious about that space. Just draw your awareness there. No need to attempt to understand anything with the mind. No need to manipulate it or change it. Just bringing awareness there, bringing the breath there, bringing that cycle, that circular breath, moving the prana, moving the life force. Good. Really pulling the breath in on the inhale, relaxing it on the exhale. Trusting yourself, just being curious about your edges. Coming back if you need to. You are totally in control. It is safe for me to breathe. It is safe for me to be in my body. It is safe for me to be powerful. You have access to an amount of energy which is almost unfathomable to the mind. You're just beginning to taste a little bit of it. Just beginning to see what it feels like to move this life force, your inheritance. Move it through the system. What is it like to really let the system, really let the body come alive today? Just for right now, what does it feel like to let all 30 trillion cells start to come alive? What does it feel like to have energy running through the body? What does it feel like to have breath moving through the whole body? Good. Keep the circle, smoothing out the edges. Good. Very smooth rhythm. Smooth everything out. And again, just getting curious about what it's like to be in your body in a way that just shows up really present, really intimately, not through the mind, as if you could just take off the top of yourself, take off your head, and experience yourself from the neck down, just as if your experience of yourself had nothing at all to do with a thought, nothing at all to do with mind. Through the heart, through the belly, through the gut. What does it feel like to experience yourself in that way? What does it feel like to just show up totally for the sensations in your body without a thought about them, a belief, without an association, without a story? Without referring to a thought, what does the breath feel like in the body? Without referring to a thought, what does sensation feel like in the body? And maybe you can find a sensation now and start to explore it. meeting it with the heart, meeting it intimately, innocently, curiously. You are held in a bed of love. Your body loves you. Your mind loves you. The energy running through your system loves you. The very air that you are breathing in loves you. The air touching your skin loves you. The ground that you are laying on loves you. The mother here with us loves you. The great Father here with us loves you. Every organ in your body loves you. Every cell in your body loves you. Every thought loves you. You are held in love. You are held in love. You are held in love. Breathe in that love. And what does it feel like to breathe in love? What does it feel like to fill your whole body with love? What does it feel like to feel that love move through the body, move through the system, to feel it come alive in you? Good. Keep breathing. Keep circling. What would it feel like to be in your body if you could totally trust that all your body has ever done is try to keep you safe, try to keep you well, try to take care of you because it loves you? And how would you relate to your mind if you knew the same thing? If you knew that all it had ever done was try to keep you safe, try to keep you well, try to protect you because it loves you. If you knew that, really knew that, could you relax a little bit? Could you let go of a little bit of tension at the core of you? Could you breathe a little bit deeper? Could you let something go? What could you let go of? What could you let go of? Good. Now I just want you to relax the breath. Relax the activated breathing. Come to a natural breath. Relax your mind. There's nothing you need to think about right now. Just let your thoughts be unimportant. Come into the body. Come into that body that loves you so much, that has worked your whole life to care for you. You can feel it holding you. And as you lay here, if you start to feel like anything needs to come up, if there's any sort of energy arising as tension or a movement that needs to happen or something that needs to be said, please allow that. You can explore it if you're not sure. Maybe it would feel good to shake. Maybe shake your spine. Maybe shake your hands. Maybe shake the whole body. And you can just relax. The body keep doing whatever it needs to do. There might be some energy that needs to move out of it. Maybe you need to cry. Maybe you need to scream. Put your hands over your mouth and yell. Maybe you need to hiss. Maybe you need to hit the floor. Maybe you're just dissolving and you don't want to move a muscle. And just for a moment, let the body take the lead. If it needs to do something, let it do something through you. Get out of the way. If you feel up to it, can open your eyes. Maybe feel the floor beneath you. Maybe rub the palms of the hands together and come up to seated when you're ready. And if not, you can just stay laying down. That's fine too. And be there as long as you want. Very, very beautiful work today. Anybody has anything they want to share or any questions, we can do that now. If not, that's okay.
May I share something?
Yes, please.
When I first started this a few weeks ago and we did the circular breath, I think since my auto accident, I've been like, I will hold my breath without realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very shallow. And when doing this, I'm probably going to cry. Like I can now get the circular breath on the in breath, and on the out breath, it's still a little bit jagged coming back up to the in breath.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost feel like this wonderful, it's almost like a release.
Yeah.
And this is the first time in 9 years. I just want to say thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. So just so you guys know, in case anyone has scheduling things, we are at the end of our time. I'm going to sit here for a few more minutes with you if you would like to stay or if you need to. But I just want you to be aware. And if anyone else has anything to share, any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll just stay here for a few with everybody. you can hear the birds. Yeah, the birds here are so sweet. Okay, Kansu says, when we talk about trapped energy, how long does our body hold on to certain energies? Do we actually store them for a long time? And no, that is not a stupid question at all, love. Yes, we could store them forever if we don't let them go. Essentially, we can have cellular memory of every event, every moment that has ever occurred throughout our whole life. And not only that, but genetically we can pass that on. So it's not even, we're carrying our own cellular memory. We're also carrying the cellular memory of our mother, our grandmother, and we pass that on to future generations. So that's the science of epigenetics, which is pretty fascinating if you're intrigued and want to learn more. But the energy itself, yeah, it can stay trapped in the system forever if you were to contract around it and never let it release, which is what most of us habitually do, because it's it's a pretty natural response. Again, if we have this association with the energy as being negative or scary or harmful somehow, then everything is kind of going to clamp down so that it doesn't affect us. Unfortunately, that's it's not a good long-term solution, because then it stays stuck in the system. So everything that we're doing here in this course, and again, we're coming at it from two ways. One is relaxing the system so that it can let go, and the other is strengthening the system and putting a little bit of energy into it to sort of stimulate it. All of those things are with the intention of allowing for this release. If you are working in your life intentionally to do those things, right, to sort of grow your capacity to move energy, and in particular move the energies that are already trapped in your system so that they can come out, and you're also committed to really relaxing where you contract and where you hold tension, then this will be a process you do through your whole lifetime. Because we'll kind of, there can be the old things, and maybe there's some big old things that we know about, like we're sure, okay, that was trauma, that I know this thing is stuck in there. But even just going throughout our day, there can be little things you can start to notice as you become more adept at really listening to your body and really trusting your body, and keeping this communication system very open and very intimate. You'll notice when the littlest things will kind of make you contract, and you just hold that. So even those little things can sort of get stuck in the system and build up, and that's where we end up with like this sort of ungrounded anxiety or overwhelm, and maybe it doesn't seem related to some big trauma. Maybe we don't have a feeling like that. We're just like overwhelmed all the time. It's because there's all these little contractions around energies that are happening like continuously throughout the day. So how long is it stuck in there? It's stuck in there until it releases. And that could happen, in a great many of ways. Like yoga, a lot of people find yoga and their experience of it is it really changes their life. A lot of that is that what's happening is through the breath and body movement, the energy is being released. Breath work, the kind of healing work that you're doing, time in nature. When you're in nature a lot, the nervous system will naturally like co-regulate with the natural world around you, and it'll start to create this sort of rhythm in accordance with the earth and with the trees and the plants around you, and that will relax the nervous system, and then energy can release. can happen, you know, in all sorts of kind of therapeutic ways. You know, we're going to work into next week a little bit about expressing energies, like really dynamic energies. So like primal screaming, what I call anger therapy, which is just like yelling, not at a person, but like yelling to get the trapped energy out. You know, so yes, you have so many different kinds of energies in your body. Every sensation you have is an energy. Every emotion you have is an energy. Every thought that you have is an energy. Every belief that you have is an energy. Every memory that you're hanging on to is an energy. Everything is an energy. Everything that you encounter is an energy. Everything is energy. So it's just that as this human species, with the kind of thought structure that we have that we call ego, which is again not a bad thing. It's sort of a functional thing. But what happens is this functional part of our thinking ability, which allows us to sort of assess things and make decisions. We need that, right? It's sort of it gets linked into the nervous system. Actually, it gets sort of linked into this protective boundary system that we have, and then everything sort of goes a little bit haywire, and we start through this sort of self-identity, which experiences itself to be separate from the world around us. We start to develop all these protective mechanisms, and again, they're protective because the body and mind cares about us. It loves us. It's trying to take care of us. It just always doesn't work out in the most useful or healthy way. That's why we have to start to become really conscious. This other part of us, right? This awareness part of us has to start to like stop fleeing, stop checking out, stop repressing everything, stop suppressing everything, just start to really show up consciously. Because when the whole organism is working together, then we can run things in a way that is actually serves our greatest well-being. When we're checked out, the habitual systems that run don't tend to serve us the best. They're attempting to, they just don't. So so as we tune back in, we can really pay attention to what's going on, which is this protective mechanism is contracting all the time in order to keep us safe. And the whole work of healing and the whole work of awakening, because like I said, this crosses with spirituality, with spiritual practice. The whole work of becoming more conscious, the whole work of evolution, the whole work of it all, that we kind of yearn for, like this this deep happiness, right? This deep well-being. All of that movement is a movement of relaxing these contractions and softening and opening and softening and opening. Yeah, so this work that we're doing is we're really intentionally releasing those energies. They can release here and there on their own. Like if you've ever had a really good cry, like at a movie, right? Like a sad movie, and just like, really made you cry. And then afterwards you feel kind of like a relief, because it tapped into that, that embedded energy. And the energy actually creates a film in the fascia. So, I mean, there really are physiological responses to all of this. So it is very much in the body. That's why things like, yogic practices, massage, body work, movement. That's why we have to keep coming into the body, because it's in the body. Yeah. Okay, anyone else before we hop off? You're so welcome, Kelly. Okay, and I'm gonna leave this. If you have any questions, we're meeting again Wednesday. We'll be exploring what I call the instinctual self. You can come with, definitely come with something to write with, because we're going to do a little writing exercise. And we'll do some practice, we'll do some pranayama, we'll do, some physical kind of practices, and we'll talk about some stuff as well. So I'll see you Wednesday, same time, same place. All of your information is on your homepage. So all of your times, the dates, the recordings, any extra links that I sent out, everything is on your homepage. So be sure to check that out. I do update it every time we do a class. So you can check in there every few days if you want. Yes, full moon coming. Yes, dance. Okay, we should be dancing anyways. So let's just make this like a group thing. We can check in somewhere on Facebook, or probably a lot of you are with me on Instagram. So let's do kind of a group intention. Everybody, just at least for a little bit, full moon dance, Monday/Tuesday. I don't know what time zone that is for you guys, but you guys can look it up. Let's do a full moon dance, all right? We'll do a group full moon dance. Even though we're not physically together, we are connected energetically in this space specifically. Yes, we're all connected to everyone, but we who are showing up here with this intention to do this work right now are connected in this space. So let's dance together. Oh, and 11/11 tomorrow? Jeez. Yeah. Burning bowl. Wow. We have a lot of cool things coming up. So yeah, celebrate. Oh, the playlist. Yeah, if you haven't added a song to the playlist, add a song that you love to dance to. So this is about, again, coming into the body, moving the body, and really specifically, I would say, moving the body with some joy. So, today you can think about that. Really, I want you to do something with your body that feels joyful. So if you're somewhere with snow, maybe you can go outside and make a snow angel and feel what it feels like to be cold. Put your fingers in the cold. Just be playful with it. Put a song on that you love to dance and jam out. Whatever feels joyful in this body of yours. Give that gift to yourself, and make some cool wishes for 11/11 tomorrow. And definitely let's set an intention to dance for that full moon. I'm going to send out a bath ritual too, and it's going to be one specifically for this course, but I'm going to kind of give it to everybody. So it'll be a nervous system care bath ritual for us for the full moon. Hopefully I'll get that done today. I always run a little close to it. Okay. Mary Ann, if you go onto Spotify, if you have Spotify, there's a little button that says add song. That's I think right below the title. So if you click that, then it should tell you what to do. And if you guys can't figure it out, but you want a song added, just send me what song you want and I can do it. Okay. Enjoy, celebrate, put joy into the body, okay? Really give that to yourself. Okay, guys. Much love to you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you Wednesday, and I will see you in the ethers for a full moon dance in a couple days, or tomorrow. Okay, bye.